This is an adaptation of a little monodrama that I found online by Sandra DeHelen. And it is about a young vampire speaking to another human, to a human. You needn't look at me like that. I didn't ask to be a vampire. No one ever wants to grow up to be a vampire, or at least a real vampire. Young kids usually dream about becoming doctors, actors, writers, sports players that live forever in history. No child ever dreams about living forever on blood. Actually, living forever isn't all that great, actually. You see, there are some people that you might want to be friends with for several years, and then one night you get hungry, and then, oh well, that's life. And then you have their money, and then I always keep a little something, a little trinket to remind myself of them. And that's when the guilt sets in. It's sort of like, well, you'll understand this, it's like being a vegetarian. Well, it is. Vegetarians don't eat meat, not because they're opposed to eating meat, because it's not healthy for them, because that's debatable. They're opposed to killing. But do they really not kill to eat? Do they really wait for the nuts and the fruits to fall from the tree before they gather them and before they open them up? Do they actually take out the seeds and gently scatter them around the tree as nature had intended them to? No! They feel guilty! Mm-hmm. You see, everybody has to eat, or they die. The instinct to survive is as strong in vampires as it is in humans. All vampires begin as humans. Pretty scary, huh? That's pretty spooky, because you could become a vampire even though you don't want to. My childhood was pretty ordinary. I started off as a human. I was born in Virginia, when Virginia was the West Coast. My family had a little land. They had a couple of cows, some chickens, they grew vegetables, they had a few dogs, and they had children. I had 6 brothers and 6 sisters. I was child number 13. Unlucky? I didn't think so. Our family looked out for each other, and being the youngest, I was coddled with the chores. I only had to gather the eggs, cook, wash up, bake, clean, and about 9,000 hours of needlepoint before I was 10 years old. Our family were Puritans. We took care of everything together. My sisters took care of the house, and the rest of us took care of the farm. I actually went to school until the 8th grade. Like I said, I was pretty lucky being the youngest, and my parents were really advanced for Puritans. I married Mr. Wright when I was 13 years old. He was an older gentleman of 26. He had just buried his wife. She had died in child labor, and unfortunately the child had died too. But at least I didn't have to begin married life as a stepmother. On our wedding night, Mr. Wright bit me on the artery. I fainted. No one had prepared me for that kind of a wedding night. And when I came to, I wasn't a virgin anymore. I wasn't even an ordinary human anymore. I had the hunger. Mr. Wright moved away about 150 years ago to another country, but I decided to stay here and watch this one grow up. I like densely populated areas. So what do you do? Do you go to school? Do you work? I can't go out during the daytime. You know, sun and fire, those things could kill me. But I do take night classes. Oh, I once took every night class offered at Harvard. Do you remember that time period in history? There were a lot of unexplained absences and disappearances during that time when I was in school. Humans are a funny sort. They do all kinds of things to ward me away, like bearing crosses, garlic. What's with crosses? My goodness, they symbolize immortality, for Christ's sake. And garlic, I love garlic. There's nothing like fettuccine with clam in garlic sauce. Whole garlic, not crushed, sliced and simmered in butter. Mmm, I love that smell. I don't eat it, of course, but I find myself strangely attracted to those who do. But then again, fire, that could destroy me. Well, why would you want to destroy me, though? I feel like I'm culling out the population. I do not seek out the desperate and the depressed. I only seek out those whose time has come. Don't you believe that those whose time have come should go? Well, when I get the hunger, I feel like I'm drawn to those whose time has come. And when I'm through with them, their time has come. So the next time you think about your own death, and you're afraid, and you don't want it to happen, you don't want to die, think of me. Oh, I don't want your sympathy, but I would really like a glimmer of understanding. Think of it forever. Mr. Toastmaster.